Welcome back to TPS. We've already ranked every NFL team's head coach, owner, GM, offense, defense, quarterback, running back, and wide receiver from worst to first. I told you asked for more, so you've got it. Ahead of the 2019 NFL season, we took a look at every NFL team's number one tight end and stacked them up against one another. Our list has been finalized, so without much further ado, let's dive into our ranking of every NFL team's number one tight end from worst to first. At TPS, we post videos every single day, so don't forget to click the subscribe button to subscribe. Then click the notification bell to be notified when we post a new video. And a big shout out to all of these people for suggesting this video list. 32. Jeff SWAIM. It's been a long time since the Jacksonville Jaguars offense consisted of a true playmaking tight end. The Julius Thomas signing failed, and the front office has continued to struggle finding a Pro Bowl caliber player at the position. Well, maybe Jeff SWAIM can fill that role. He joined the Jaguars this offseason after spending his first 4 years in Dallas. SWAIM is coming off his most productive year yet with 26 receptions for 242 yards and 1 touchdown. Not very impressive at all, which is why he's last on this list. 31. Jordan Thomas. Like the Jaguars, the Houston Texans have lacked stud playmaking tight ends throughout their history. They're simply hoping that sophomore Jordan Thomas will be able to step up here in 2019. Thomas had 20 receptions for 215 yards and 4 touchdowns last season. We'll see if the 2018 6th-round draft choice can do much more with Deshaun Watson in 2019. 30. Nick VANNETT. Well, the Jimmy Graham experiment disappointed for the Seattle Seahawks, but could fourth-year tight end Nick VANNETT put it all together here in 2019? His stats have steadily improved each year, but through his first 3 seasons, he has just 44 receptions for 425 yards and 4 touchdowns. With Doug Baldwin retired, Nick might see more targets from Russell Wilson in 2019. 29. Ricky Seals-Jones. The Texas A&M product has had some nice plays through his first 2 seasons with the Arizona Cardinals. Might he finally break out with the prized rookie quarterback and Kyler Murray leading the offense? Seals-Jones managed 34 receptions for 343 yards and 1 touchdown in 2018. Those numbers stand to get better with Murray running the show. 28. Dawson Knox. The Buffalo Bills drafted Knox in the 3rd round at 96th overall. He should fit in nicely in an offense that will be led by second-year QB Josh Allen in 2019. The Bills haven't had much of a passing game since Jim Kelly retired over 20 years ago. But Allen will be looking at Knox aplenty, especially in the red zone. The 6'4", 254-pound Knox is a sleeper to keep an eye on in 2019. 27. Benjamin Watson. Watson returns to the New England Patriots, where he played his first 6 professional seasons from 2004 to 9. That was highlighted by a Super Bowl 39 championship, and Watson should be a fine security blanket for Tom Brady. Watson won't be able to replace the production left behind by the retired Rob Gronkowski, but he'll be key in advancing the chains on 3rd down. Watson caught 35 passes for 400 yards and 2 touchdowns last season with the New Orleans Saints. 26. Darren Waller. The 2015 6th-round pick saw little action in his 2 years with the Baltimore Ravens. Waller landed with the Oakland Raiders last season, but only suited up for 4 games, catching 6 passes for 75 yards. The Raiders need somebody to complement the wideout duo of Antonio Brown and Tyrell Williams. It wouldn't be a surprise if John Gruden and Derek Carr worked together to get Waller more involved in the offense. 25. Mike Gesicki. After a stellar career at Penn State, the Miami Dolphins selected Mike in the 2nd round of the 2018 draft. A lot was expected from the former Nittany Lion, but he disappointed mightily in his rookie season, tallying just 22 receptions for 202 yards and 0 touchdowns. Thing is, it's not easy for rookie tight ends to make an instant splash in the NFL, but he's still an incredibly talented tight end. If he can stay on the field and earn more playing time in his sophomore season, there's no reason to believe Gesicki can't take a giant leap in 2019. 24. Tyler Eifert. The Cincinnati Bengals tight end showed signs of breaking out back in 2015, when he finished with a whopping 13 touchdown receptions. But injuries have limited Tyler ever since, and he's only suited up for a total of 14 games over the past 3 years. The Bengals curiously decided to bring him back for another season. We expect the Bengals to be quite a mess here in 2019, since they're giving Andy Dalton all the time in the world to try and lead this flawed team. So, good luck, Tyler. 23. Jason Witten. The future Hall of Famer is out of retirement following 1 year in the broadcast booth. The 11-time Pro Bowler was no longer a 1,000-yard threat at the time of his retirement, but Witten still finished with a respectable 63 receptions for 560 yards and 5 touchdowns in 2017. The Cowboys don't have any great pass catchers outside of Amari Cooper, so look for Dak Prescott to lean heavily on Witten here, especially on third down plays. He won't light up the scoreboards, but Witten's value in the Dallas offense will be on display in 2019. He'll probably get those usual 50-plus receptions and 500 or more yards. 22. Jordan Reed. Like Eifert, Reed enjoyed a breakout year in 2015, and he's failed to recapture that magic ever since. Reed had 87 catches for 952 yards and 11 touchdowns that year, but he hasn't come close to repeating those numbers. Obviously, it's been tough for Reed to shine because of the Washington Redskins' problems at quarterback, not to mention all the injuries he's endured. Can rookie Dwayne Haskins help Reed regain that magical form? Even if not, Reed is still good for around 500 yards a season if he plays a reasonable number of games. That's nothing to complain about. 21. Kyle Rudolph. We're not sure how much longer Rudolph will be slotted in as the Minnesota Vikings' top tight end, as rookie Irv Smith Jr. could push hard for that role in 2019. Rudolph's numbers have never been great, but they've been steady. He has 5 seasons of over 45 receptions and 490-plus yards. Kirk Cousins is due for a bounce-back year thanks to a rebuilt O-line. Perhaps Rudolph is about to enjoy his best season yet. 20. Greg Olsen. The 3-time Pro Bowler hit the 1,000-yard mark for 3 straight years from 2014 to 16, but injuries have limited him to a total of 16 contests over the last 2 years. The Carolina Panthers can only hope that Olsen will stay healthy and hold off Father Time in 2019. If he does so, Olsen will be higher on the list by next year. Imagine if he could complement the likes of Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore. This offense could seriously take off in 2019. Number 19. Gerald Everett. The Los Angeles Rams product hasn't broken out yet, but 2019 might be different for Gerald Everett. It's obviously hard for him to get receptions because of the Rams' 3-headed monster at wide receiver, but Everett should be able to enjoy a career year as his chemistry with Jared Goff continues to develop. The 6'3", 240-pound Everett certainly has the skill set to become a Pro Bowl caliber tight end. We like his game, but again, can he earn enough targets from Goff? And that's the main question here. Number 18. Mark Andrews. The Baltimore Ravens drafted Andrews in the 3rd round last year, and he turned in a fine rookie year with 34 catches for 552 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Ravens will be trying to build Lamar Jackson into a better passing quarterback, so that obviously bodes well for Andrews. The Ravens will lean on rookie wideouts Marquise Brown and Miles Boykin in the pass-catching game. But don't sleep on Andrews. He's a prime breakout candidate for the 2019 season. Keep a close eye. Number 17. Chris Herndon. The New York Jets drafted Herndon in the 4th round last year, and he tallied some pretty nice numbers in an offense that struggled mightily in 2018. But the arrival of new head coach Adam Gase will help the Jets aplenty, and second-year QB Sam Darnold should enjoy a nice breakout year. Herndon tallied 39 receptions for 502 yards and 4 touchdowns in his rookie year. He was hit with a 4-game suspension for violating the league's substance abuse policy in 2019, but when he returns, Herndon should be able to build off his rookie year and help take this Jets offense to new heights. 16. Jimmy Graham. The Green Bay Packers gave the 5-time Pro Bowler a 3-time pact worth $30 million in the 2018 offseason. But it didn't go so well last year. Graham only caught 55 passes for 636 yards and 2 touchdowns. Considering Aaron Rodgers is his quarterback, Graham simply has to be better. The Packers hope that new head coach Matt LaFleur can rebuild this offense into a juggernaut again. But does Graham have much left in the tank? He's entering his age 33 season and hasn't performed at a high level in several years. At any rate, he's still good enough to get 500-plus yards a season. The Pack will take anything they can get. Number 15. Eric Ebron. The Detroit Lions drafted Ebron 11th overall in 2014, but he unfortunately never lived up to his potential there. Ebron enjoyed a breakout year with the Indianapolis Colts in 2018, however, and there's good reason to believe he can take it to another level. Ebron set career highs across the board last year with 66 receptions, 750 yards, and 13 touchdowns. It's going to be difficult for Ebron to repeat that success again, with Luck now retired, but he'll still be an impact player in Frank Reich's offense. Jacoby Brissett will lean heavily on him, so don't worry about Ebron dropping off too much. 14. Trey Burton. He threw the Philly special touchdown pass to Nick Foles in Super Bowl 52. Then Trey Burton landed a 4-year, $32 million deal with the Chicago Bears in 2019. He returned the favor by enjoying a career year with Mitch Trubisky and co. Burton was a nice security blanket for the Bears offense in 2019. He finished with 54 catches for 569 yards and 6 touchdowns, helping the Bears win 12 games plus their first NFC North crown in 8 years. Burton should be able to build off those numbers in year 2 with Trubisky and Matt Nagy. 13. David NJOKU. He's probably going to be overlooked aplenty in 2019, such is life when you're on a team that consists of 2 Pro Bowl receivers in Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry. Oh, and running backs Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt still some of that spotlight as well. But hey, David should be able to build off a promising year with Baker Mayfield and the Browns. His 639 receiving yards were 8th among tight ends last season, as were NJOKU's 56 receptions. Now, the goal is trying to repeat or improve those numbers with OBJ joining the fold. At any rate, expect him to play a big role in Cleveland's offense once again. 12. Delanie Walker. We love to have him higher on this list, but how much more does a 3-time Pro Bowler have in him? Walker is entering his age 35 season and he suffered a gruesome ankle injury in Week 1 that kept him out for the vast majority of 2018. Before that, Walker had turned in 4 straight seasons of 800-plus yards, including one 1,000-yard season. Marcus Mariota will be looking to form chemistry with his new receivers, so it remains to be seen how much the Tennessee Titans will use Walker in their offense. But if he's healthy and regains his usual form in 2019, Walker will have a deserved top 5 or 10 spot on this list, to be determined. Number 11, Vance McDonald. The Pittsburgh Steelers haven't been able to replace Heath Miller's production, but veteran Vance McDonald showed signs of breaking out last season. Maybe the Steelers have their solution at tight end after all. McDonald had 50 receptions for 610 yards and 4 touchdowns last season. With Antonio Brown gone, McDonald's role should increase in the Pittsburgh passing game. Ben Roethlisberger loved using him in the passing game, and you can bet that McDonald is ready to build off a career year. Expect even better numbers in 2019. 10. Noah Fant. The Denver Broncos happily traded down in the first round of this year's draft, waiting patiently until Iowa tight end Noah Fant fell into their laps with the 20th pick. Fant is one of the best tight end prospects ever, and the Broncos won't waste any time getting him involved in their offense. It remains to be seen how much Fant will be able to do in his rookie year, given the many questions surrounding the QB duo of Joe Flacco and rookie Drew Lock. But Fant should at least make plenty of big plays in 2019, and he should be in the top 10 among tight ends for all major stats. He may or may not emerge as a Pro Bowler in his rookie season, but the future is ultra bright for this kid. Broncos fans are going to love him. Number 9, TJ Hockenson. Fant was one half of the lethal tight end duo at Iowa. TJ Hockenson was the other half. The Detroit Lions drafted Hockenson 8th overall, and the hope is that he'll be able to produce right off the bat. The Lions are banking on a bounce-back year from Matthew Stafford. Otherwise, the Lions could move on from him. Maybe head coach Matt Patricia, too. So no pressure on Hockenson. He and 2018 breakout star Kenny Golladay form a dangerous pass-catching duo. The only question is if Hockenson is ready for the big stage, or if he'll need a little more time to develop his game at the NFL level. Number 8, Hunter Henry. The Los Angeles Chargers standout unfortunately had to miss 2018 after tearing his ACL during an off-season practice. He was a prime breakout candidate then, and he's a prime breakout candidate now. Henry had 579 receiving yards in his 2017 sophomore year. He's had plenty of time to build up his chemistry with Phillip Rivers, and with Tyrell Williams leaving for Oakland and Antonio Gates likely a goner, the door is open for Henry to step up as a pure game changer in the Chargers offense. As long as his knee doesn't hold him back, Henry should enjoy a career year in 2019. He has a great chance of earning his first Pro Bowl selection too. 7. Austin Hooper. Hooper has gotten better every year with the Atlanta Falcons, and yet we just feel like he hasn't fully broken out yet. Hooper's 71 receptions placed him 4th among tight ends last season. His 660 receiving yards were 7th among players at the position. So yeah, he's unquestionably a top tight end in football. Look for Hooper to increase his stats even more in 2019. This will be his true breakout year. Number 6, Jared Cook. Cook is coming off a career year in which he caught 68 passes for 896 yards and 6 touchdowns. He was 4th among tight ends in receiving yards last season, and 5th in receptions. Only 3 other tight ends had more receiving touchdowns than Cook, too. Now, Cook goes from the Raiders to the New Orleans Saints, led by all-time great Drew Brees. The Saints desperately need another pass catcher to complement Michael Thomas, and Cook should be able to fill the role. He may be entering his age 32 season, but it's not crazy to believe that Cook will still have another career year in 2019. He set up nicely in New Orleans, that's for sure. Number 5, Evan Engram. After a promising 2017 rookie season, injuries held off a breakout year for Engram in 2018. He was limited to 11 contests and still managed 45 receptions for 577 yards and 3 touchdowns. No doubt that he'll better those numbers in 2019. The Giants traded away Odell Beckham to the Cleveland Browns, which means Engram is arguably the top pass-catching weapon for Eli Manning and Daniel Jones now. Even if Sterling Shepard and Golden Tate steal away targets from Engram, the latter has at least built good chemistry with Manning. Everything is lined up for Engram to finally break out in 2019. We're confident that he'll do just that. 4. O.J. Howard. We understand if you want to laugh at us for placing Howard this high, but we're just confident in his ability to break out in 2019. Howard had a pretty good sophomore year on a miserable Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. Now, he gets a new head coach in Bruce Arians, one of the best offensive minds around. Arians should be able to help Jameis Winston take his game to another level, and that's going to bode well for Howard. With great size at 6'6" and 251 pounds, plus an elite skill set, Howard has all the makings to be the next great tight end in football. Don't be surprised if he's number 1 on this list within a couple of years. Number 3, Zach Ertz. He caught the game-winning touchdown at Super Bowl 52, then he followed it up with the best season of his career. Yep, things are looking great for Philadelphia Eagles tight end Zach Ertz. Ertz had 1,163 receiving yards last season, but can he repeat those numbers? The Eagles have added Deshaun Jackson and J.J. Arcega-Whiteside to their already potent offense. Even if Ertz doesn't hit those numbers, he'll still play a huge role in Philly's offensive machine. Look for Ertz to have another big year in 2019. Carson Wentz is going to be using him aplenty, as he always does. Number 2, Travis Kelce. Before Gronk retired, Kelce was already making a strong case as being the NFL's best tight end. Kelce has recorded at least 67 receptions and over 800 yards in each of the last 5 years. He has also surpassed the 1,000-yard mark in each of the last 3. Kelce is coming off the best season of his career with 103 receptions for 1,336 yards and 10 touchdowns. He might have problems repeating last season, but there's no questioning that he'll be among the top tight end leaders in every major category. He's a total game changer, playing alongside perhaps the best quarterback in the game right now. And number 1, George Kittle. With Rob Gronkowski retired, there's not a whole lot of debating that Kittle and Kelce are the NFL's 2 premier tight ends. Picking number 1 wasn't easy, but there was no way we could avoid placing Kittle on the spot, folks. He just set the record for most receiving yards in a single season by a tight end with 1,377, and that was without Jimmy Garoppolo for most of the season. Kittle put up those historic numbers with Nick Mullins and C.J. Beathard as his quarterbacks. Imagine what he'll do for an encore with Garoppolo returning. This is going to be a fun year for Kittle and the 49ers. It's time for the tight end to prove that 2018 was no fluke. Who do you think will be the NFL's best tight end in 2019? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.